Hey Vapors, today I have a video on how to use and maintain your Kanger Aero tanks. So I have the Aero Tank Giant, the Aero Tank V2, the original Aero Tank, the Aero Tank Mini, and the Aero Tank Mega. So let's go up to close-up mode and we'll get started. Okay, so starting out with the Aero Tank. This will be the original one, and it comes with the dual coil. Now, here's the instruction booklet, and you're going to want to read through that pretty thoroughly before you get going. It's going to give you a lot of different tips and tricks that'll help you out. Now, this also comes with it, and this is the product authenticity. Now, you go to the site and you enter the code that you'll find on the box. And I can't stress this enough. A lot of people don't go and check that, and they could be buying a fake product or a clone, which is automatically gonna, leave you without help from Kangertech, because obviously they can't help you with a product that they haven't made. So I can't stress that enough. Definitely either ask, when you're at your shop, is this authentic or is this a clone? Just to make sure, and then go ahead and check it. Now, here's the original Aero Tank, like I said. And you can see there's the air hole there, there's another one there, and one more there. And it simply works by turning this here, and as you can see it goes up and it covers those holes slightly, all the way until it's closed off. Now what's nice about this line of tanks is they're customizable, so you can choose what kind of draw you want, whether you want a really tight draw or a more airy draw, and it's totally up to you. Which is nice because, to be able to customize definitely helps the experience, makes it more unique and how you want it. So as you can see, it's got a removable 510 drip tip. It's got an O-ring on it. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart for you to show you how it works. Now, the base comes off, and this is where you're going to find your coil. Okay, and this is a dual coil, and this unscrews from the base just like that. This is a 2 ohm coil. There you go. And your airflow comes down through the bottom. And this is the chimney part of the coil, which is going to sit in the piece that you actually pull through right there. Now, one quick thing to talk about is if you get any kind of liquid inside there or inside this coil, it's going to cause it to leak and gurgle. So you got to be really careful when filling. And toward the end of the video, I will fill a tank for you and show you the best way and a couple tips and tricks that work good for me. So now, we got the coil out, we got the drip tip off, and this right here simply comes apart by twisting, like so. You got your top part, your glass tube, and your bottom part. And it comes with the O-ring already in there like that. Now you got to be careful with these. You don't want to lose this or it will leak. Now that just sits in the bottom of that metal piece, and when you thread these together it holds everything snug. Now you don't want to over tighten this or you can damage the glass, but just snug and it should seal just fine. Now you take your base, you put your coil back here, thread it in. And again, just snug. You don't want to over tighten it. You snug that up. And thread the base back on. Pretty simple. And this is your 510 connection, which is compatible with most Eagle batteries, and obviously any device that has a 510 threaded connection. These tanks, they provide you with a beauty ring inside, as you can see right here, and that's going to make up for the difference in size between the Ego batteries and the size of the tank itself. So we'll move on now, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Mini going here to show you. Okay, so it's all the same as far as taking it apart, putting it back together. Same thing with the tank. Obviously you got your product authenticity inside, and you're going to want to double check that again. And the only thing that's really different is the size of it. This tank holds about 1.8 mils of fluid, as where the original Aero tank held 2.5. So it's a little smaller, hence the mini. And then another difference is the airflow control here. Now you will turn this, and as you turn this ring here, it's going to block off more and more holes, all the way until you get to none. So that's a little bit different, a little bit easier to use. And this is the same diameter as the Eagle style battery, so you won't need the adapter, the beauty ring. Now, one more difference to note is this has the dual coil that's a little bit different. It doesn't have the wick sticking out of the sides like the other one did. It's got the holes in it. And this is the newer style coil, and these work really well. So we'll go ahead and put that together, and we'll take a look at the V2. So here's the V2. And this also has the same dual coil as I just showed you as the Mini. The holes in it. And the adjustable airflow. You twist it just like you did with the Mini. And this holds 2.8 mils of liquid, so it's getting bigger. You're getting able to put more in it. It's got the removable drip tip, which is nice. So we'll move on now, and we'll take a look at the Aero Tank Mega, which is this tank here. Now, as you can see, the sizes are getting bigger and bigger, and this is going to allow you to hold more liquid. You won't have to fill as often. And the Mega holds 3.8 mils of liquid, removable drip tip. And as you can see, it's got the same airflow control, but it's getting bigger and bigger. The holes are getting bigger, and you're going to get more air. That just twists like the rest of them. And the last one we're going to take a look at is the Aero Tank Giant. Now, it's called Giant for a reason. This tank is pretty large, and this one's going to hold 4.5 mils of liquid. And just like the rest of the tanks, it comes apart the same way, where you can just unscrew this. This one has some holes in the top, and then this will come apart so you can get the glass tank out. Removable 510 drip tip like the rest of them. Has a 510 threaded connector. Now that's a pretty nice tank, and it's getting bigger, like I said, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you like a tank that you don't have to fill often, this is the way to go. Now, Kangertech provides great service. They stand behind their products 100%. If you have any issues with your product and you keep your authenticity code, they will, without a doubt, provide you with the products that you need to replace. You know, as far as a glass tank, a lot of these they have replacement parts for this. They'll have, you know, different 510 connection drip tips you can buy. You know, they basically stand behind their products in every way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the V2 and we're going to show you a couple tips and a couple tricks to fill in it without getting any kind of juice on there. Now, one more thing I want to mention is don't ever try to loosen this with the glass, because you can damage the glass that way. You always want to try to get a hold of the metal here and unscrew it like so. So now that we got it open, you can see that it can be a little tricky to fill that with how small the holes are on the outside, and you don't want to get any kind of liquid in that center chimney, or you'll be tasting it in your mouth, or it'll go down in the coil, which will cause gurgling. So what I found works the best for me is to take a regular Q-tip and insert it in that hole. Now it fits snug in there, so you're going to have to push it in a little bit. Now the Q-tip's in there. You don't have to worry about getting any kind of liquid in that hole, and when you pull it out, it will actually clean it a bit, just to double check. Now, so you'll take your liquid and just start filling it. Now you want to keep your tank, you don't want to ever let it get below a third empty, because that can also cause some leaking issues. Now another thing to mention is when you first fill it with any new coil that hasn't been used, you want to let it soak and saturate for at least a minute. If you got more time, I would recommend at least 5 minutes if you can. That way you won't get any kind of burn or dry hit from the coil when you first use it. There we go. We got a good amount of liquid in there. You simply pull your Q-tip back out of there. No liquid in the middle. And then you insert your base back into it. Snug it up. And let that coil saturate, like I said, for a couple minutes if possible. You'll see some air bubbles coming up from it. That means it's filling up nice. I also wanted to go over a couple battery options just to give you guys an idea of what's out there, what's available, and some of the best things that you can use as far as batteries. Now here's the EVOD battery, and this has the variable voltage on the bottom of it. And this works really nice with the AeroTank combo. And that's mostly because it gives you that extra little customization for your vape experience again. You can add more voltage, you can lower it down, and you can kind of just fine tune it to where you want it. Do you want more vapor production, a little more flavor? And once you get to where you like it, you can just keep it on that setting. So we're going to take our Mini here, and I'll show you what these two look like together. Like I said, the diameters are exactly the same with this battery. It fits on there real nice and flush all the way around. Not gonna have any issues. And then, like I said, you just adjust this to where you want it, and you adjust your airflow to where you prefer, whether you want more airy or less airy draw. And that'll basically give you any kind of experience that you're looking for. So one more thing that I want to talk about that's really, really important with any tank that you have is proper cleaning. Now I recommend cleaning your tank from every three or 4 days. You're going to want to take it fully apart and rinse it and clean it. Make sure all your seals are clean. And when you put it back together, make sure your seals are dry and free of any e-liquid. So there you have it. That's a how-to video on the AeroTanks from Kangertech.